I'm Brandon from Zade Comics, artist and co-creator on Magic Cop, which I have right here, which is out on Indiegogo right now, and I'm just one half of the two best-looking brothers in all of comics. And today we're doing another movie poster breakdown, where we take a deep dive into a movie poster or two and take a look at them from a graphic artist's point of view. So let's see what we have to look at today. So we're going to be looking at some movie posters for the movie The Frighteners, and I really wanted to look at this poster because I love the design behind here, but I think that this is a horrible promotionary poster specifically for this movie. Like if we were going to use it for something else that was very, very horror themed, I think it would be much better. But knowing this movie, having seen it a handful of times and really enjoying it, this poster is awful for promoting what this movie is. So let's take a look at the poster, and then we're going to take a look at some of the other market posters for this, and we'll do some compare and contrast on these two. So starting off here, it's a really simple poster. Obviously, we could see, I've seen it here. This might be a scan of a bigger poster or something like that, because this does have a little bit of a discoloration on it. From what I recall, it's a little bit lighter in tone, but this still gets the point across. I always loved the face that's kind of pushing out of the wall here. This is kind of something from the movie, that they have a lot of the ghost or spirit kind of pushing its way a little bit through the wall or through the floor. And I think that does look super cool here on the poster. We have here a very easy to read title, but it's pretty cool because it's not just simply the font. We have a little bit going on here with kind of like this edge. This is pretty nice because this creates a nice drawing in effect, because the letters are doing something a little bit different than just being a solid color, something like we would see on modern movie posters. We would just have like a solid tone to the font, something kind of like this coming soon down here. But here, they have the green with like this yellow and then lighter green, playing with some contrast on there, which is pretty nice. And then this text is not simply just an off-the-shelf font. It looks like there's a little bit of customization going on here. This F is a little bit bigger, which is pretty cool. Then obviously the is a different. It's a similar font, but it's a very much thinner font, which is pretty cool too. It's always fun to mess around with text fonts and things like that for getting your titles across. Although here they went with something a little bit more basic instead of doing something like a logo, because obviously the main focal point on this poster here is the face here that's inside of the wall. I like the tagline up here. It's pretty interesting that this tagline doesn't have any kind of high contrast color on it. It looks like it's just part of the wall. They could have even done it like a shadow or something. I think that would have been pretty cool, but the dead yet implication on here, that's a pretty cool tagline. Very easy to read, very reminiscent of the 90s, late 80s, giant taglines on the top, almost as large as the title of the movie, and then down here at the bottom we just have your standard movie stuff, your actors and producers and stuff like that. So looking at this poster just in general, I think it's an awesome piece of art. I love the face in here. I think that the teeth look super awesome, and like the eyebrow ridges, even you have a little bit of cheekbones coming out with the nose here. Everything is very super scary looking. We have like that horror feeling coming from this poster, and I think that's an awesome thing. If this were a different movie, I think that because of the comedy aspect of the movie, and then it not just being like a slasher film or kind of like a ghost, it is a ghost story, right? But it not being like a haunting story or anything like that, I think that this poster is missing actors. I think that it's missing some storyline exposure, what we would have on the poster, showing off maybe some of the characters in their roles so that we can get a feel about what the movie has to offer for us as far as, some character personalities, and we can infer some situations that they might be in, or we can infer what the movie's about. So if we look at something like the Halloween movie poster with the pumpkin and the knife, that is conveying the message of like a horror slasher bloody film. Here this is conveying the message of kind of like the singular villain being the central focus to the movie, something very scary, things like that. Whereas this movie's not really about that. There's so much stuff going on in this movie that I feel like the poster is completely missing the mark here. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, even Peter Jackson did not enjoy the promotions for this movie, and blamed that for the reason why the movie did so poorly in the box office. So let's look at these other posters here for different applications. I'm not exactly sure when these posters came out relative to that first one, because as I recall, back in the day, the poster at the Blockbuster and on the VHS was this. This was the cover. Posters, they just look much, much better. These are, they have a lot more composition going on in them. They have a lot more storytelling being conveyed in them. I know this one here on the left is used generally for DVD or Blu-ray releases of the movie, and I'm not really sure where this one on the right is from. This looks like a foreign market poster for the movie, so I wonder if this is for Europe or something like that. But I do really enjoy this one here on the right because it has a lot of cool subject matter in it. And so we could look, we have our huge villain here up in the top. This guy's used very, very well, very strong form of him coming up from the left side of the poster from this old house that we have down here. We have this circular action going on, which is creating a nice highlight around this hand, which is leading out a lot of light out onto the other parts of the poster that we're supposed to be looking at, which is really cool. We have some other characters on here that they're just incidental on this poster. We don't, as a poster viewer, let's say we were looking at it promotionally, we don't know if these people are big parts of the movie or not, but they all have these numbers on their forehead, and they're at least 7, 8, 2, and 4, and then down here we have 41. And so this is giving us a little bit of the story into the movie, which is pretty nice. We have Michael J. Fox down here and another of the leading actors in the movie. And I just really love the way that they put this death character up here on the poster. The blues and the oranges are working really nicely together. This red color comes across really nicely on this arm. And then the blue with this spirit tube going up here works really, really awesome to create a really nice contrast and lighting against this black background. They did a really awesome job here. And then we have the Frighteners up here at the top, which is the same font we saw on the original poster, and it's just bold. I kind of wish that they did something with the blue here, or maybe had it with an outer glow. It would have done a little bit nicer instead of so simple. And then over here on the left, this one's a little bit more contemporary. It's not so stylized like the one that we have on the right, which is obviously painted, which I love those style of movie posters, the painted style, because you kind of get that artistic interpretation of what you want the audience to see. Here This is photographs that are have been run through computer processing, which is not nearly as fun, but you get a higher fidelity to what the characters look like and stuff like that. And you could play around with the colors. They obviously did a lot of the same thing that they have over here on this side with the blue. So we have a lot of this blue, with this arc going on here, which is creating a nice window into the poster for us. And then we have some characters, so we could see kind of a couple of the characters that are in the movie. We have, some personalities being portrayed out there in them. Some like shock and awe, this crazy older guy in the background, and we obviously have this crazy guy. So we have a lot of personality being put onto this poster, whereas on the original poster we had absolutely nothing. And then we have, Michael J. Fox's character here, which is probably a still frame from the actual movie, which is always cool to see. So we get a little bit of his personality, and we can see he's in color, so he's obviously not one of the spirits. So we get a little bit of his story too. And then we have this house down here, which they are focusing on as like a focal point of the plot. So this movie here is, this poster here is showing off a lot of the movie. It's giving you a lot of information and meat into what you might expect seeing in this film. And although I would much prefer to hang, let's say, this poster on my wall as a piece of art, I would much prefer to see this poster, or even this poster here, at the movie theater, because it is a lot more intriguing, it's a lot more storytelling, it's a lot more promotional, you get a lot of information from it. So if you're thinking of designing a promotionary piece, you can take that into consideration. It's always cool to have a nice piece of wall art, but does it convey the message that you're looking to send to your audience to want to make them go see that movie? So I love this movie. It's such a fun, just adventure movie. It's got a lot of cool, crazy quirks and stuff in it. And unfortunately, the old promotions for it, you can see how this poster, if you've seen the movie, you can see how this poster doesn't really represent the movie all that well. Although it is a really cool piece of now pop culture history and a really cool piece of pop art. They really failed to hit the mark at a good promotion to get this movie out there for the audience to sink their teeth into. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you think that original poster is a solid promotionary piece, or if you guys enjoy the second tier of the posters that I have here. So let me know what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week in another movie poster breakdown.